And so now what I'm doing with these mutes here, I'm doing a full scout on the map, knowing I don't have nothing to push in, so I'm going to scout.
And like you catch my expansion right as I'm like, I'm going to hide an expansion like on the left side of the map because Kimbo's never going to find this ever. And like right as you're doing your patrol with your mutes.
Yeah, well, that's why it's
so important to constantly keep scouting.
And the one thing, back to the patch 11. I know you don't want to talk about Phoenixes because you hate them, and I think they're great now, but you can once again have map control.
No. Look how many mutes do you have? You have like,
I'm not even saying to counter the mutes right now. Which you could.
You have 14 Mutalisks. Okay, if I had 10 Phoenixes. Let's say 10 is the number that I need to counter.
You could dance around my mutes and take them all out with proper micro.
If I have 10 Phoenixes and you attack me with roaches,
okay, well, scout
I die. Yeah, but it's not like a scout more thing. Like I'm not even getting into this again. So here you finally coming in and attacking my base, but it's already pretty much mined out, so it's not like the worst thing that could happen. And I'm warping in Stalkers, and this is when I realized that not all Protoss units can fit through that little gap,
which works in my favor this time.
I guess I've never built Archons in this like quantity before because the Archons cannot fit through that little gap. I was amazed. Like, why wouldn't you make the Archons fit through that little gap?
It makes me happy that you can't fit through the gap.
But they should be like Archons. Everything else fits through that little gap. Why not Archons?
And so now you see that I have both things up here because what do you have, an observer before?
Yeah, I did my rounds with an observer while you were doing your rounds with your little gay flying things. Faggy flyers. That's what I'm going to call them.
Now, at this point, I'm trying to go for a little bit of a critical mass of mutes. I'm bringing in my my infestor pit. We'll see why in a bit.
And so I warped in a bunch of High Templar, like just for the purpose of going straight to Archons.
Now, this is interesting. These things are moving.
Yeah, you can push the Archon morphing to Archon Ball. You can push it with your other units.
That's awesome.
So
and they morph really quick. Do you know that's the second count on that?
It's really fast. It's definitely faster than it was in StarCraft 1. And so now, like, this is what I have right here, like 6 High Templar ready to storm and 5 Archons and whatever else I have. That's an awesome army. And I feel confident right now that I can. I mean, if we look at army, wow, you actually have a lot more invested in army than I do, and I'm wondering, that's pretty cool. I wonder what that is. You have a lot of mutes, I guess.
A lot of mutes coming out. And, I see you pushing up here. So right now, it's a thought of like, you know what? He's pushing up there. He has Archons. There's not much I can do about it. So let me go in. Let me try to, it's the mind game of is he going to come back to protect his base, or are we going to trade bases?
But he has a lot of mutes there, but they are dropping pretty fast, and I'm warping in some Stalkers here to try to defend.
But I also have +1 attack on these things. So
I think I have +1 attack by now too, or something.
No, you don't have any upgrades right now. Yet. So I do, even though it's a little bit of an even Stalker ground, I still have the advantage. But at this point, you have taken out this entire base. We have traded armies. You can come right up here and take this expansion out, but what are you thinking?
Well, I was not looking there. I was looking at my expansion. And even after storming, which you guys missed, but even after storming and warping in like a dozen Hydralisks, Stalkers rather, like, look how low all those gay little guys are.
What, mutes?
Yeah.
Not little guys. They're awesome guys.
They
Look at them.
suck. I hate them.
No, I hate you. And now I've gone here to expand, and to my surprise, I see, yay! You're coming back down to try to salvage whatever you can.
I mean, like, at this point in the game, actually, I really shouldn't have. I mean, your army has come down significantly. I don't know why it says you have that much. Maybe it counts spine crawlers. I don't know, but like,
But you've pushed me away. The thing is, you saved your expansion, and
but I think
you could have traded bases with me, but at the same time, you saved your expansion, and that's huge.
Well, I mean, like at this point, right now in the game, if I pushed into your 4th base, at the 1 o'clock position or whatever that is, and then I pushed into your main, which I could have because you don't have that much that can stop this the army that I have right now, I could have taken the game at this point. Right?
Yeah, you could have. And right now I have Ultralisk Cavern going up, which is another change in patch 11. Again, where everything's been nerfed because Ultralisks are going to be buffed one day. Stupid.
They're also, you know what? I don't know how they're going to buff them more. Like, are they going to make them not be able to ever die?
No.
How can you make them better than they are?
Ultralisks are not good.
They're like insane. They're like incredibly good.
If you know Ultralisks are coming in any capacity, they are terrible. They do not absorb damage. Their health sucks for the most part as far as an Ultralisk should go. Their damage has been increased from 18 to 25, which is huge for damage, but Ultralisks are meant to absorb damage, not give damage.
In StarCraft 1, they're meant to absorb damage.
Okay, well, they don't absorb damage anymore.
Yeah, but they have like twice. They have almost the same attack as an Archon, and they have like 300 times the health, and they have twice as big of a splash radius.
And now you're coming in now to finish a job up here. You know you need to take my econ down, and I see this happening. I know there's nothing I can do at this moment. I have Ultralisks forming, but they take forever. And so what I'm doing again is being like, you know what? I need to get another expansion going. So expanding up here, expanding anywhere I can that can throw you off.
You mean,
and then
so you're in the mode of like, I'm going to hide expansions all over the map so I can stay in the game.
Essentially, yeah. And right here, even this is like trying to take things out of pylon power. Even trying to cap you as far as pop cap you, which I don't know if it's possible.
No, not at this point in the game. It is possible earlier, but at this point, I just have look how quickly that splash damage actually matters here, because against even just one Archon, those however many Zerglings they were, weren't able to really do that much.
But let's look at income. Right now, you have no income. I have almost none. So,
this is a bad situation for everybody.
Yeah, and this is one of the few times I feel Ultralisks could be effective. Ultralisks are going to come out there. You don't have any Immortals. If you had Immortals right now, these Ultralisks would fall
in a later game that we did after this, when I was like, how can I stop the Ultralisk that he builds? And I built like half a dozen Immortals. They just ripped through them. Like it wasn't even fair.
Now Ultralisks do suck as far as taking damage, but they can at least I'll take it back a little bit.
Ultralisks can't take damage. Ultralisks can't take damage. What are you talking about?
That's because Storm sucks.
You're still on drugs from before.
You're still on the fact that you just can't get over that Storm sucks, so you're still using it.
Look what's happening. Look what's happening.
Yeah. Ultralisks are dying.
Storm doesn't suck, first of all. Second of all, look what's happening. Ultralisks aren't... I haven't seen one Ultralisk die yet. Now, finally, because of Archon's splash damage, I see, a few Ultralisks start to die. But, like, our Ultralisks can't take damage.
They're just not good enough. They're not... The thing is...
Like...
Alright, here's the thing.
Everybody just watched this. Everybody just watched that battle.
I built Ultralisks because I wanted to test them out.
No.
But the thing is, I could have done the same goddamn thing with roaches. I could have had like 5,000 roaches on
if you had roaches, my Archons would have eaten them.
No,
you just showed everybody that watched your Starcraft show that battle, and then at the same time said Ultralisks don't take enough damage. What do you like?
No, they don't. Think about it. Against Terran, Marauders wreck them. Against Protoss, if you have a couple of Immortals out, these things would have fallen so quickly. You GGG'd because you were frustrated.
Yeah, I was frustrated because I was frustrated because I hate Mutalisks. And because Ultralisks take a lot of damage.
They don't take that much damage, which is why
the only thing that beat them later, and when you cried in like other game that we played, was when I built Immortals, which do like 50 damage a shot.
I built 15 fucking Ultralisks, and you took them down.
They have hardened shields.
You took them down in like 5 hits.
I built the counter.
Okay, you built the counter.
Immortals take 10 damage from Ultralisks.
Immortals are a tier 1.
They counter armor.
Tier 1 or tier 2?
They counter armor.
Tier 1 or tier 2?
They take 10
Tier
damage.
1 or tier 2?
Tier 2.
Tier 2 against its very heavy, high-tech, upgraded tier 3 Ultralisks. You took 15 tier 3 upgraded Ultralisks, and you used 6 Immortals.
That still might have been like 7 or 8.
6,
but they would have beaten Colossus, they would have beaten Thors, they would have beaten any armored unit, because that's what they're made to do. They're made to counter armored units.
That's bullshit. And
I
quit Zerg until patch 12.
In that last game, I scouted your Ultralisk Cavern, and I built Immortals.
Anyways, I won this one, so screw off. GG.
GG.